Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Oh, man. So, super straight. Oh, man. Yeah, this is, if you haven't heard, you don't know what super straight means, it's a way to make it clear that you're into women that were born women. Because it's transphobic, they labeled it as transphobic, trying to demonize straight people if they didn't want to get with a transgender. So then they came up with a sexuality called super straight to make it clear that they're not into transsexuals. And now they're calling that transphobic. And yeah, that's the first scripture that comes into my mind is Jude 1:7. I mean, a bunch of them, but because it's so vexing, and it's very hypocritical too. Because if they're, for, I don't even want to get into that, but if they're if they're for, accepting everybody as they are, then why not? You see the hypocrisy and, straightforward. You can reason with them without the scriptures all day and, make point after point after point, but at the end of the day, homosexuals, transsexuals, and whatever else is on that alphabet list, they're delusional and they need help. And you can't really reason with them. You can't reason with delusional people. It's impossible. And a scripture that comes to mind is, Romans, the first chapter. Let me read this. This is Jude 1:7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, because that's what Sodom and Gomorrah was known for. Man sleeping with man, women sleeping with women, and transsexuals, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it says are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. And yeah, we know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. It was rained down upon, fire and brimstone, And then let me grab Romans 1:26. Actually, I want the whole chapter because I want to read into it. No biggie. Read full chapter. Romans 1:26, it says, "For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of a woman." And what's the natural use for a woman, for a man? It's sex. To reproduce. It's very simple. Burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly. Let's look up that word, unseemly. Not proper or appropriate. So a man with a man working that which is unseemly. So they're doing inappropriate behaviors such as homosexuality. This was, going a lot in Rome. So, the Apostle Paul had to address it. Just like we have to address it, living in Babylon, modern day Babylon, because it happens here. And we got to filter it through the scriptures. And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, The Most High, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, gave them over to a reprobate mind. This is why you can't reason with them. So whenever you hear stories of like this, it's really not worthy to stoop to their level. You're not gonna reason with them. You can reason with people that are kind of confused about the reasoning of this. Say, look, this is what the scriptures say. Right here, Romans 1:29, it says, or 1:28. The Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind. That word reprobate, an unprincipled person. They're not into principles. Or look at the thesaurus. The other uh, words that can be replaced with it: rogue, rascal, scoundrel, miscreant, good for nothing, valiant, wretch, rake, degenerate, libertine, debauchee. I'm gonna have to look some of those words up. It says to do those things which are not convenient. Because hey, they're not wrong whenever they say, well, I was born this way. Hey, you're not wrong. But the Most High creates the wicked, to be destroyed. And he creates the righteous to be delivered. This is Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So yeah, but he's not gonna, the reason why he creates homosexuals is to destroy them. The reason why he allowed Sodom and Gomorrah was to make an example out of them. That's, and you see it. You see that this is an improper way to live life. Because look how far it goes with their ideologies. It's evident that this is inconvenient. But verse 29, it says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness. And these are characteristics of these people. And it starts with homosexuality, and then it leads to transgenderism, and then all these philosophies come from wickedness, man. It starts with that transgression of homosexuality, filled with all unrighteousness. Because because everybody knows that homosexuality is against the scriptures, and it goes into it. This is filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate. Yeah, they're full of murder. That's their intents at heart. They love to debate. They love to, and really debate goes into strife. It's argumentative. Not the healthy kind of arguments or debate where you reach a conclusion, a conclusion and a solution to deal with certain problems. But the kind of debate and arguments that they just like to argue just to fight and yell and get a reaction out of you. When they know they're wrong, but they still argue with you. That's the type of arguments that, trans people are into, or homosexuals, and really reprobates. And you have to be able to catch that and don't continue in arguments with them. Let them be, knock the dust off your feet. They're not into repenting. They're not into coming to a conclusion. They just want to argue just to argue. Get the fuck on. I'm not giving you that the time or day. They're into deceit, malignity, whisperers, gossipers. That's what whisperers mean. Malignity. Let's look up this word. Evil in nature or effect. Yep. Backbiters. Yeah. They don't have any friends. Backstabbers. That's what backbiters is. Haters of the Most High. Yep. So everybody knows what it says in Leviticus. Alright? Man shall not sleep with man. Covenant breakers. Truce breakers. I skipped a few, Slaki. It says despiteful, proud. They call it Pride Month. Boasters. Inventors of evil things. Disobedient to parents. Without understanding, covenant breakers. Without natural affection. Implacable, unmerciful. Who knowing the judgment of the Most High. They know what they're doing. That they which commit such things are worthy of death. They know the punishment for it. Written in the scriptures that how, hey, when you commit that act, it's worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So not only do they know it, but they love doing it. That's why you can't reason with these people, man. I'm gonna end the video there. Yeah, man, you can't reason with these people. Another scripture that came to mind was Isaiah 13 and 14. Or 12. Isaiah 13 and 12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. There's not a whole lot of men going around, and it's evident because not a whole lot of men are standing up to this bullshit or calling this bullshit out. Hey, this dude who came up with that super straight, he's probably a real man. He had the balls to say, you know what, fuck this. Let's see what this ideology is really about. If they're really about accepting people who they are, then what about being super straight? Sure enough, they're trying to demonize being called super straight. So it's evident what this place is about. This place is about wickedness. Alright? And true men of the Lord are not gonna succumb to these ways. And that's part of being a man, is holding your integrity, standing up for righteousness. But with that, Lord willing, this video is edifying and uplifting to the elect. So with that, hey, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.